Guardiola. Of course, that was for Manchester City at the time. Of course.
Debuted the Champions League against Real Madrid in that semi-final back in 2011. Boyan as well, of course. Oh, Boyan had played the previous season, I think, under Frank Rijkaard.
Oh,
but
right, okay.
But yeah, no, still, I mean, he got lots of minutes as a very young player with Pep Guardiola. Then, of course, we've got the likes of Fontas, Montoya, Sergi Gomez, Jonathan Dos Santos, Thiago Alcántara, of course, as well. Pep Guardiola tried out lots of young players from the Barça B team and players who've grown up at Barça. He's done the same at Manchester City. And it's great to have coaches who trust the young players. We've seen Ronald Koeman do it as well this season.
I was about to ask you that. I mean, we have seen Ronald Koeman, of course, give important minutes to the younger players. Nobody more so than Pedri, perhaps. Under different circumstances, also due to the injury problems, he was, of course, forced to pick players from the Barça B team. Oscar Mingueza probably being the big standout in that sense, and Ronald Araujo as well. But when it comes to this player right here, seeing all the experience that he has under his belt already, playing for the massive Premier League side, the likes of Manchester City, with all the silverware that he has won, we can't really be talking about an inexperienced younger player at this point.
Not at all, not at all. We were making the comparison with Piqué before. I think there are lots of parallelisms with how Piqué's years before coming back to Barça and Eddie Garcia's years coming back years before coming back to Barça have gone, because if we remember rightly, Piqué was in a squad that played the Champions League final the year before he came back to Barça at Manchester United, Eddie Garcia as well. I think Manchester United won it that year on the penalty shootout against Chelsea, and Manchester City didn't manage to win it this year. But I think it's gone more or less the same. They've been coached by great coaches. Piqué was Alex Ferguson, and of course Eddie Garcia was Pep Guardiola. I think it was great for both players' developments.
Yeah, and when Piqué, when we listen to his reflections upon his time over in Manchester, been playing under Alex Ferguson, we never hear a bad word. I mean, these kind of experience really seem to ripen and benefit players a lot. So, of course, in the moment when these players are transferred, they're always, particular for the Barça fans that follow the progress and the evolution of these players from such a young age, it's always hard to see them go. But when they return, it's all the more better, of course.
It is, of course. And there are always criticisms when Barça players leave, but I'd say there's always a chance for them to come back if they prove themselves, and they'll always want to come back to the club of their dreams, definitely. This has just happened minutes ago when Eddie Garcia signed his contract with President Joan Laporta, and he posed with the Barça jersey, showing that on the back of his on his back will be the name Eric, not Eddie Garcia, not Garcia, it will be Eric. The number has not been revealed yet, and right now he's changing into that kit. He's right below us in the Barça dressing rooms, getting that kit on to come onto the pitch right behind us, where all of these journalists are waiting to see Eric for the first time stepping onto Camp Nou.
Yeah. And I would imagine that Eric Garcia right now is taking his time, soaking it all in. That Barça locker room is a beautiful locker room. For those that haven't made the journey out here to Barcelona and the Camp Nou to visit the museum, you get a chance to walk through the Barça dressing room, and it's quite a sight, isn't it?
Definitely,
Steady the art.
And I don't know about you, but I think if I was in that position of Eddie Garcia, or like yesterday, or Kun Agüero, I'd be playing games with the press a little bit. I'm gonna take my time, make them a little bit nervous, create the expectation.
The buzz, yeah.
Exactly, and have them wait for me.
Yeah. I mean, this is a unique, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm sure that he's doing exactly that, taking advantage of every minute, every second here.
Let it soak in.
Absolutely.
And it's a beautiful setup right here behind us. Of course, we've got the message, Ben tornat Eddie Garcia. Welcome back, Eddie Garcia. It was a very sunny day at Camp Nou. It was kind of kind of covered up right now, and we were talking about Eric getting ready at the inside the Barca dressing room. There he is.
There he is indeed, putting on the socks. And about the number, of course, it says it right there on your screen. During his time at La Masia, he always played with number 3, but he's going to have to wait to wear that number 3 over here in Barca first team.
I think he's going to have to wait. The same way that Sergio Busquets had to wait to wear number 5, for example.
Exactly. Or can we see it on the... what would you call it? Oh, he's sitting on number 14.
Number 14, which this season was Felipe Galo. But I think that's just because it's in the corner. I think that we can't draw any conclusions from that. And of course, we were saying before that the new kit has not been unveiled yet. It hasn't been presented yet. I think that's happening towards mid-June. So both El Kun Agüero yesterday and Eric Garcia today will be posing, will be wearing the 2021 kit.
Yeah, I jumped the gun there before, didn't I?
No problem there, Diego. I'm here to save you. I'm here to save you. You saved me with Eric's age when he left Barca, and I saved you with the other thing. So we're here to back. We have each other's backs. And we're seeing the press actually getting ready for those official photographs. So I'm assuming that he's fully prepared. He's got all his gear on, and he's making his steps down the tunnel and getting ready to come onto the pitch. For the first time as a first-team player. I'm assuming maybe when he was in the Barca ranks, maybe he did actually at some point step onto Camp Nou. This would be the first time as a first-team player, being the second signing for the 21-22 season. Yeah,
and of course it's one thing doing so while he is heavily being anticipated by the press. They'll be snapping their pictures and getting the first images of Eric Garcia wearing the Barca shirt. But it's a whole different thing, of course. It's an entirely different ball game when he will step out on that pitch.
There he is.
With the stadium packed with fans. As there he is, treading down the stairs.
Treading down the stairs, making his way down the tunnel. We've got our colleagues, Aviv Levy and Ignacy Martin, the cameraman, getting ready to get the right shot, the proper shot. We want everything to be perfect in this first footage of Eric Garcia stepping onto Camp Nou as a first-team Football Club Barcelona player. And I'm assuming there's butterflies going through his stomach right now.
Absolutely.
Eric Garcia, there he is, walking up the steps, accompanied by President Joan Laporta, being greeted and photographed by the media. And there is the special moment for Eric Garcia. I'm going to turn around, Diego, and be completely unprofessional here. Maybe even take my time to Instagram this, or take a picture or make a video. I mean, it's the moment it's the Eric moment, and the cameras aren't on us; they're on Eric. So I'm going to take my time here.
A cheeky little Insta.
Cheeky little photograph. There he is.
I might join you here.
I had the timer on my camera, Diego, which is not ideal right now.
And I think your prediction is going to indeed be fulfilled, Robert. I don't think we're going to see Eric Garcia juggling the ball.
Maybe not, maybe not. I mean, I think El Kun set a precedent yesterday by not doing it. And Eric's probably
not doing it.
If Kun's not doing it, I'm not doing it, says Eric. But there he is, Eric Garcia, posing as a first-team player. He's the second signing of Barca for the 21-22 season. This is going to be a shaky story.
Now, Robert, you obviously being such an avid Barca fan and a massive follower also of the lower ranks, how special is this day for you to see the return of one of the sons of the academy, somebody that you probably undoubtedly followed in the early days?
This is definitely a special day. I mean, I was saying before how special it is to have players who've grown up in the Barca ranks. We've got in defense the likes of Piqué, Mingueza, Araujo, and now Eric Garcia. And it's important for that, for the Barca fans as well, to feel identified with the team.
Yes, absolutely. The memory is still, of course, fresh on our minds. That special day when Barca were able to field 11 players made in La Masia.
Yes, yes. I mean, we managed to field 7 this season, I believe. I can't remember the exact 7, but it will probably have been Mingueza, Piqué, Jordi Alba, Busquets, Messi, maybe Laish came on in the second half. Sergio Roberto, I'm assuming. I don't know. I can't remember the exact 7, but there was a moment in which we did manage to field 7 homegrown players on the same pitch at the same time. And another important thing is that we're rejuvenating the team. We're
yes.
signing another 20-year-old to come along with the Pedris, the Serginho Dests, the Elias Moribas, the Ricky Puches, the Frankie de Jong, who's still very young,
indeed,
Ansu Fati as well, and Minguezas and Araujos. I mean, I'm sure I'm leaving someone out at the moment, but we are rejuvenating the team. And I remember, for example, we gave the stat in El Clásico. This was the youngest Barca team in a Clásico for a very, very long time.
That is true. That is true. And it was needed as well. I mean, of course, we respect and we appreciate the services of the elderly players. They've done so much for this club, so much for the team, and made us fans enjoy these seasons with Barça ever so much. But at some point, there has to be a change of guard. And no better than Eddie García, homegrown talent, to rejoin the ranks, of course, of his beloved Barça.
I think even President Laporta defined it as the beginning of a new era. I think we're transitioning. Let me correct myself. Laporta says there's no seasons of transition at Barca, but we are kind of transitioning from the end of one era, and obviously players who have given a lot to the club and who are still at the club and who are still very valuable assets to the club. But we are starting to see more new young players coming in, and of course we need to look towards the future as well. And they've had an amazing season. I mean, there was a signing of Pedri last season. Who expected Pedri to be so good
I don't think he himself did.
I don't think he did either. As we see Eddie García now walking off the pitch, and as I say, a 20-year-old that we're adding to a team with many other young players who've gained a lot of experience as well this season. I think, in spite of some of the tough moments, especially in La Liga and maybe even that Champions League defeat, those are valuable moments for these players to learn and know what it is to lose as well.
Yes.
And never wanting to do that again. There's a quote by Thierry Henry in the Number 9 program, which you can find on Barça TV+. He said,
great program, that.
Back in 2008, Real Madrid won La Liga and Barca had to give them the guard of honor. And they lost 4-1 at the Bernabeu.
That hurt.
And that hurt. But he says, I wanted that pain. I wanted to experience that pain in order to feel that I never wanted to experience that pain again.
Fuels that fire, doesn't it?
And exactly, it fuels the fire, as we're hearing some very loud noises here right now at the Camp Nou. And Henry was saying that, yeah, he wanted that pain. He wanted that pain, and I'm sure that's very valuable for the young players who experienced defeats in El Clásico, the late run in La Liga, which wasn't ideal. The defeat against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. I think that's all part of the learning curve. And they've also tasted success in the Copa del Rey with that excellent run. But I think it's
growing pains is part of the progress.
Exactly, and that's been very good for these young players. And I'm sure they'll have a lot more experience for next season, and they'll have learned a lot of lessons towards this 21-22 season, in which we'll still have a very young squad.
Absolutely. And Robert, who are some of the other younger players that are on top of your mind from the lower ranks, from your Barça B team, that have that potential to break out into the first team?
Well, we've seen Barça B, of course, have a great season this year. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the promotion that they decided. They were very close. There was an eternal penalty shootout, which didn't end well for Barça B.
Unfortunately.
But they've had an excellent season. We've heard great things about the likes of Nico González, who likes to play in that defensive midfielder position. Alex Collado, a very creative player. We've seen Conrad de la Fuente as well, being called up for the first team, even getting the opportunity to play. Elias Moribas started with them and then ended with the first team. Mingueza has been playing for both teams early in the season and towards the end as well. He played that
even played
game in the playoff. And of course, there's the goalkeepers as well. Arnau Tenas, Iñaki Peña, they were always called up to the first team, so we'll see if they get any opportunities next season.
Yeah, and listening to some of the people from within the club, some sources from within the club, when it comes to the goalkeeper position, it does seem that Barça are very well covered because they are two goalkeepers with so much talent, aren't they?
Yes, exactly. And we'll see in this upcoming season what happens in the goalkeeper position. At the moment, we still have Marc-André ter Stegen and Neto as first and second goalkeeper, but we'll see if the likes of Iñaki Peña or Arnau Tenas get opportunities to play with the first team. They've both had good seasons. They're both very good goalkeepers. It's hard to pick which one you like the most. I'm not sure at the moment. I'm not sure. And you have to see how they perform under the pressure of playing with the first team, and hopefully in stadiums full of fans once again in this upcoming season, because that's
the big one.
That's another big one. We'll have to see how different La Liga looks and the Champions League looks this upcoming season with the return of fans, hopefully.
Absolutely. I mean, that is a factor, I think, that simply cannot be understated. How much these players missed, you know, their home fans. I read an interesting article, in fact, that talked about how the levels of hormones, testosterone in particular, of course, were decreased with these empty stadiums. The players just didn't have that fuel that really sparked that motivation, that fire to push them throughout the games without the home fans being present. So we want to welcome the fans back. We can, of course, ourselves not wait to return to the stadium as well and watch the first team play in live and in the flesh with our very own eyes instead of looking at them at the TV screen.
Definitely. And while we're waiting for Eric Garcia to get changed into his street clothes again, we just saw him here on Camp Nou. He's going to get changed into his street clothes again, and we're going to hear his first words in his first official press conference at Football Club Barcelona. He'll be joined by President Joan Laporta, and I'm assuming as well by Vice President Rafa Yuste and Sporting Director Mateo Alemany. While we're waiting for that, we're seeing the footage of what happened earlier on this morning, Diego, with Eric passing the medical test with flying honours.
And a detailed one is that, very thorough. I don't know if you've ever went through a medical similar to this, Robert.
I don't think so, no. I get the more basic ones. But we want these players to be in tip-top shape.
Of course.
And I'm assuming he has to be if he's going to the Spanish national team tomorrow.
Tomorrow already.
He confirmed to us that he's going tomorrow. Some of the players are already there, and he'll be joining them tomorrow to see...
Where are they concentrated, do you know?
I'm not sure at the moment, no. I mean, Eric was saying yesterday, the other players went yesterday, and I was telling him, well, I wasn't able to catch any of the news yesterday because we were so busy with what happened here at Camp Nou yesterday with the presentation of El Kun Agüero.
Of course. And well, in the case of Kun Agüero, the Copa America will be played, but not in Argentina. It will be moved over to Brazil because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Seems to be just out of control in Argentina at the moment. So for all of our viewers in Argentina, we wish you all the best and stay safe, of course.
Definitely. We want everyone to stay safe, and here is Eric Garcia earlier on today, before signing his contract with President Joan Laporta next to him.
Saying hi to the members of the board.
The new members of the board of directors. Mateo Alemany there, of course.
You see Masip.
And Enric Masip as
legend
as well.
of the club.
And these are important moments for them as well, because obviously they've taken charge of the club since the month of March. But now it's decision time. I mean, they've had this 2-3 month period in which they've managed to get settled in. They've learned what the situation at the club was. President Joan Laporta offered a press conference the other day, analysing the situation at the club, and there is a lot to be addressed for the new administration. But
some surprises.
Yes, he did say some surprises. But now it's that time of the year, which I think sometimes fans enjoy this time of the year more than the actual football. They like speculating about transfers a lot more. You get that. You get that in the NBA as well. People talk about transfer windows a lot more than the actual games. And I think some casual fans in football tend to like this time of the year a lot more, with the rumours and who will this team sign and which player is leaving to go to where.
I got to confess, Robert, that as a young boy living in Holland and before the age of the internet, what always excited me most to come visit my family here in Barcelona was walking past the kiosks and seeing the newspapers that I wasn't privy to see, of course, living in Holland, and then seeing these big names make the portadas, make the front pages of these newspapers, and they really do fill you with lots of excitement and hope.
Yes, definitely. And as you know, Diego, one of the things that I like to do here at Barca as well is go back in time and create some documentaries, looking at some of the great Barca stories. And one of the, I don't think I'd be able to do this one for Barca necessarily, but one of the great ones that I would have always wanted to do is documentaries about the signings that never happened.
Oh, wow.
You were talking about
Endless
the portadas,
list.
the headlines of the goalkeepers, and all of those players that were supposed to come here and never made it to Barca. And there's a great list of them, and some of them were so close to coming here, and the deal fell through towards the end. And I've always wanted to look back on those stories as well to see how much truth there was to it.
Yeah. And it's interesting as well. Years later, from the player themselves, they'll reveal to say, well, I was very close to signing for the club, but that never happened.
Or sometimes they'll tell you, no, that was never close to happening.
also, yes. It'll be the fans that are really hoping it'll happen, and it never materializes because it was never close to happen. But luckily for Kun Agüero, and yeah, of course, Eric as well, but he had already played. But for Kun, it was a dream come true to eventually sign for the club, even in his latter stage of his.
Been rumoured to play for Barca during several transfer windows, and finally it's happened now at the age of 32 for him, 33 tomorrow. So, by the way, happy birthday, Kun Agüero.
Yes.
And it's happened for Eric Garcia as well, who, as we're seeing right now on our screens, wore the Barca kit for the first time as a Barca or a first-team player. He made his first steps onto Camp Nou just a few minutes ago, and we're going to be listening to him in just a few minutes in that press conference, as I say, where he'll be accompanied by the president, Joan Laporta.
We see him here walking down the stairs, and unfortunately, we addressed it earlier, into an empty stadium. I don't know if those butterflies would have been a little bit more...
I'm sure they would.
...buzzing around his belly if the stadium would have been packed.
I'm sure they would, but still a very special day, and I'm sure he can't wait to make his first steps onto Camp Nou in his playing uniform, getting his first touch of the ball, getting his first cheer from the fans.
Yeah.
We'll have the Gamper Trophy happening in the month of August. Hopefully it'll be happening here at Camp Nou. We don't have all the details yet about the beginning of the season, how it'll go, but of course stay tuned to all the Barca social media channels and Barca TV Plus, where we'll be informing you about all of that once we have the details. We'll have to wait and see when Eric can make his official debut as a Barca player, but today is a very special day for the young 20-year-old who returns home after 4 years of leave, I'd say, at Manchester.
Yeah, it's in Spain sometimes they describe it as the Erasmus years,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. He's gone abroad. He's learned a new language.
Yeah, he speaks
his
English
is
perfectly well.
Very fluent.
Yeah, very indeed.
So, yes, we're waiting for Eric, who will be speaking in Catalan more rather than English in the press conference. I mean, he might get
his
a couple
native
of questions.
language, yes.
We'll be translating for you here on Barca TV Plus and Barca's social media channels. That will be happening in just a few minutes. We've got footage right now of the room, the auditori, where the press conference will be happening. If it's anything like yesterday's, it'll go on for about 20-25 minutes with the president, Joan Laporta, and Eric Garcia answering the questions of the press. And of course, Joan Laporta yesterday wanted to get his vice president and sporting director, Rafa Juste and Mateo Alemany, involved as well in explaining how things have gone in terms of the signing of Eric Garcia. Yes,
exactly. And again, this was a signing that so many of us had anticipated for such a long time. Of course, it was rumored during the winter transfer market that it might have materialized then, but it wasn't meant to be, as well as the previous summer. But well, it's a dream finally come true for the youngster, the 20-year-old, the defender that will finally be able to defend the crest again, the club of his life, the club that he had been supporting since well, the early age of 6 years old. And on the topic, I mean, it was an interesting topic you just brought up, Robert, and players that were rumored or linked with Football Club Barcelona, and transfers that never materialized. Is there one that stands out for you as one that you wish?
I'm going to go for retired players, just not to get in trouble here.
That's very smart of you.
I always thought, and it was on the cover of lots of newspapers here, that Gabriel Omar Batistuta could have been a great addition to any Barca team. And
that year in particular, of course, Ronaldo Nazario had just left Can Barça as well. We were in desperate need, all the fans. We wanted another reference point, another number 9 that could get us out of our seats. And Batistuta at that time was an absolute killer in the area, playing for Florentina.
Yeah, he was playing for Fiorentina back then, and he was rumoured for a couple of years, definitely, to come here to Camp Nou. And we were talking about Batistuta yesterday with Bruno during the presentation of El Kun Agüero, because Agüero is the third all-time goal scorer for the Argentinian national team behind his now teammate Lionel Messi.
That's incredible.
Gabriel Omar Batistuta. So
that's incredible.
Agüero, an absolute legend that we've signed, and today, and I don't think we can call Eric Garcia a legend yet, because he's only 20.
In the making.
But he's a legend in the making, definitely. And you said it, the prodigal son who returns to Camp Nou, a player who is a culé, who, as he said in one of the interviews when he was a kid that we were looking at before, he's one of those who suffers when he watches the first team. And I'm hoping he won't suffer now. I'm hoping he'll enjoy his time playing for the Barça first team. Anyway, we're getting close to hearing the first words of Eric Garcia in this press conference. They're making their way onto the stage. Eric, of course, accompanied by President Joan Laporta and Vice President Rafa Yuste and the Sporting Director Mateu Alemany.
Well, it's the spokesperson here welcoming the press and welcoming the new Barça player, Eric Garcia.
Abans de començar amb els parlaments, farem la fotografia oficial.
There'll be the official photo that will be taken as well.
Fins a la temporada 2025-2026.
Of course, he signed his contract until 2025-26. And he'll now, Eric Garcia, pose with the Barça shirt.
We'll hear all the clicking of the cameras.
Yes, along with President Joan Laporta.
There it is.
And
as
Vice
we were
President
saying before, it was revealed before that he'll be wearing Eric on the back of the shirt.
Yep.
Not Garcia, not Eric Garcia, it'll be Eric.
And it seems that everybody wants to get their hand on the shirt, give it a little tuck. So Mateu Alemany is also there present to the right of Eric Garcia. There
they are, joking around a little bit.
I think the joke was exactly, they were saying, get your hand on the shirt as well, give it a little tuck.
All the members of the press trying to get the best pick, the best photograph, and we're waiting, of course, to hear from Eric Garcia. Not for the first time today, because he joined us before when we were
so
exclusively on Barça TV Plus.
Exactly.
Answering some questions, but we're going to hear from him now, answering the questions of the press.
Of course, such a joy to bring back players from the house. This is a son of the academy that played for the lower categories of Barça. Welcome. They prepared a welcome video for Eric. Let's take a look.